over a bit more about the actual continents of the world of Tellus this time. Here we have them kind of showing their general shape and the landforms that you'd see on them. If we want to see where this continent really goes, let's look at the other picture here for a second. It's moved down to here. I liked it better that way. This gets to go to the South Pole instead of trying to share the North Pole with this continent. It just wasn't working out so well, but this fits a lot better what I was wanting anyway, and I actually have it overlaid on Google Earth down here, so you can see how that works. There's the equator would be running through about right here, through that area, and a little bit over or through this island chain. But you can see the distortion isn't so bad around the middle area of the map, so I'm happy with how these ones look. Now it gets a little weirder as you go up towards the North Pole. I drew the other map in the way that I wanted this continent to actually look. Whenever it gets stretched here, the Mercator projection is really bad, and this is not. I don't want it to be pointy like that. I want it to be a big rounded area like South America, but it was hard to figure out how to do that, so I just left it alone for now. But it still does a pretty good job of showing the continents. Showing this one, it's a little bit stretched and distorted too, but that's showing you kind of the general area that it's supposed to go. And there's like these two massive ocean areas that could totally have some kind of islands or lost continents or something on it in the future. So there's room to grow there. Now back to this. We're going to exit out of both of these for now because we don't need them at this point. We're going to save too. Didn't realize that hadn't been saved in a while. Alright. Now back to the map at hand. We're just going to go over the continents and subcontinents real quick, and then we'll go into detail on specific continents later. The first continent is this one down here. It's the largest continent on the map, I believe. Largest total square mileage, and it is the supercontinent of Igrand. We're actually going to put up the empires and colors names for a second here, so you can see this is Igrand, this whole large continent up here, but it's also subdivided into subcontinents. So if we take the paintbrush here for a second, this large one, that one is Igrand. We're going to get rid of that for a second. Igrand. Bracoa is this area down here. Covers some portion of this. Now I don't have the exact tectonic plates thought up, but this area down here is Bracoa, and this area is Lemeth. Now if we go back to this for a second and zoom in, we can see that there's actually a huge ridge here where the subcontinent of Lemeth was pushing in, and Igrand is pushing over the top of it. So there's probably going to be a little bit of volcanology up here in the subduction zone, getting real scientific on you there, but it's just causing this large ridge area to form on this mountain range. So there's not a really good easy way for anything on this continent to get up that way, and we'll find out why it's hard for anything from this jungle to get over that way later. But zooming back out, we're going to go over to the next continent over here. This large vertical looking structure is the continent of Zerana, and it's actually made up of two subcontinents. So Zerana is made up of Uswana in the lower half, including the island chain, but Uswana kind of comes up this way. You can see it follows the mountain range, kind of pressing into the upper continent up here of Uzera. And so Uzera kind of bends up and around this way where the two come together. But that's Zerana. And then this middle one here is actually made up of two subcontinents as well. This whole continent is known as Rhymeshire, which, as you can see, is actually the name of this central area here that joins the two continents. Atreus and Darius make up Rhymeshire. And it is a very cold, snowy, inhospitable place. And then the final one that is not up here in the north anymore, it's actually down south now, it is the continent of Ozorus. So we've got our major continents here. And we'll get into the details of each one in their own individual videos.